Well, the Svalbard eclipse was everything that we expected it and hoped it would be, indeed even more so. I would say of all the total eclipses I've seen so far in my life, this ranks certainly in the top 3 and maybe in the top 2. It was absolutely superb in every way. We were a few miles down the Advent Dalen Valley from here where I'm standing now in Longyearbyen, and the location was magnificent. The surroundings, the mountains, the snowy landscape, absolutely beautiful. And the weather, well, incredible. There wasn't a cloud in the sky at the start of the partial phase of first contact, and to be honest, there were really no clouds of any note at all during the entire 2 hours or so that the eclipse was ongoing. Quite unexpected. We'd have been very happy to settle with that if we'd have known that's what was going to happen. The eclipse itself had many very interesting aspects. Firstly, the shadow bands. Some of the best, again, that I've ever seen at any eclipse. They began about 3 minutes before second contact. Certainly the earliest I've ever seen them, as quite slow-moving bands coming across the landscape, quite narrow, with a spacing of about this, and they became more obvious, obviously, as totality approached. There wasn't much in the way of Baily's beads at the second contact point, but the line of prominences along the eastern side of the sun, as the Baily's bead disappeared, was incredible. There was a huge prominence at about the 11 o'clock position, easily visible by naked eye. There were a whole line of prominences, probably a dozen or more, extending around the eastern side of the sun. There was also a detached prominence coming out into space from the edge. And the view with the naked eye was utterly splendid. Because the sun was low, the sun and the moon appeared rather larger during totality than they would if they were much higher in the sky, the well-known full moon illusion. And we were looking, of course, across the snow-capped mountain line, and it just added to the beauty of the scene. The corona was beautifully structured, bright inner corona, as you'd expect for around solar maximum, although we're coming to the end of this current solar maximum, but the streamers were beautiful, easily visible by naked eye out to at least 2 solar diameters, certainly possibly 3 on the western side of the sun. The corona was rather asymmetric. We had 3 long streamers coming out on the western side and some rather shorter ones on the eastern side. And looking at the pictures during totality, it appears that there was a lot of small scale structure in the corona as well. The diamond ring was magnificent when it came at the end of totality, bursting out with a beautiful goldeny yellow colour. And also interesting there was the fact that, again, when looking at pictures around the third contact time, there is a lovely loop in the corona. Now, I don't know whether that was associated with the sunspot that was just leaving the solar disk at that point or not. I haven't yet been able to check on that. But all in all, it was incredible. We had more shadow bands at third contact, and for a minute or so after. They didn't go on for as long after third contact as they'd been seen before second contact. But the wonderful thing about the shadow bands at third contact is because the sun was low, they appeared, due to perspective, to be radiating out from the position of the sun in the sky. And as they moved from right to left in front of us, you had this effect like a sort of a radial wheel turning. Again, the shadow bands were narrow and very, very clear, and again with a similar spacing to they had been just before second contact. One of the most remarkable total eclipses of my career, utterly beautiful. The location was quite superb, the weather was amazing, and everyone here has made us incredibly welcome. This is a lovely place. If you've never been to Svalbard, I can recommend a visit.